What is a pseudo-legendary Pokemon? It requires a 3-stage evolution and a base stat total of 600, a general term for Pokemon located near the end of the regional Pokedex. Today, I will list Pokemon that are often mistaken for pseudo-legendaries. 1. Archaludon. Duraludon is a newly introduced Pokemon in the Galar region, with a base stat total of 535. In Gen 8, it had no evolutionary or pre-evolutionary forms, but in the next generation's Paldea region, Duraludon's evolution was actually discovered, Archaludon. What's even more terrifying is that Archaludon's base stat total is exactly 600. Some people might think Archaludon is a pseudo-legendary. In reality, Archaludon is only a 2-stage evolution. Is it a late-blooming Pokemon? It's just that there are too many young and promising Pokemon. 2. Arcanine. Arcanine evolves from Growlithe using a Firestone. It is a Pokemon. With a base stat total of 555, it's not far off from a pseudo-legendary. It being considered a pseudo-legendary is purely a matter of its lore. The anime inexplicably showed an engraved tablet featuring the legendary birds alongside Arcanine. Plus, the Pokedex gives it the category of legendary Pokemon. But in reality, it has nothing to do with being a legendary or pseudo-legendary. It's just a common dog Pokemon seen everywhere. 3. Slacking. In terms of the evolutionary line, Slacking is the only one among these that meets the criteria. Slackoth evolves into Vigoroth, which evolves into Slacking. However, nothing else matches up. Slackoth can be encountered early in the game. Furthermore, Slacking's base stat total of 670 also doesn't fit the definition of a pseudo-legendary. Moreover, Slacking's 670 base stats comes with a negative ability, Truant, as a trade-off. Being stuck with such an ability, even if you give it a Turnamax, having such high base stats is still useless. 4. Absol. This Gen 3 Dark-type Pokemon has a base stat total of only 465, lower than some early route bugs/birds, and it has no evolutionary or pre-evolutionary form, though it does have a mega evolution. Its lore, however, is mysterious and powerful. It has the ability to foretell disasters, yet people view it as a symbol that brings doom. Unfortunately, it has no relation to Paldea's 4 Treasures of Ruin Pokemon, let alone being a pseudo-legendary. 5. Lucario. A Pokemon evolved from Riolu, it fights using a power called Aura. The reason it can be mistaken for a pseudo-legendary is that it's one of only 2 non-legendary Pokemon to have a dedicated movie. Having its own movie despite not being a legendary subconsciously makes people think it must at least be a pseudo-legendary. Unfortunately, it is not. Neither its evolutionary line nor its base stats match up. 6. Zoroark. Aside from Lucario, the other non-legendary with its own dedicated movie, it can create illusions to make others see visions. Its ability is extremely unique. However, its actual combat strength and treatment are far inferior to Lucario's. Currently, aside from a regional form, it hasn't received any special mechanics. 7. Haxorus. Axew evolves into Fracture, and Fracture evolves into Haxorus. Its appearance is mighty and domineering. Its Pokedex number is towards the end, and it falls just short of the criteria. Haxorus's base stat total is 540. The total stats are just a bit lacking. 8. Volcarona. A Pokemon evolving from Larvesta. It has a base stat total of 540 and a divine nature, sometimes replacing the sun to save freezing creatures. Its Pokedex number is right next to the legendaries. According to interviews, it was originally designed to be a powerful Pokemon. Based on its exclusive encounter event in Gen 5, it's not hard to guess that Volcarona was highly likely intended to be designed as a legendary Pokemon. Probably because there were simply too many legendaries in Black and White, it got downgraded. As for being designed without a pre-evolution, that's Heatran's lore. Don't confuse it with Volcarona. Volcarona had nothing to do with pseudo-legendaries from the very beginning.